We'll begin the Budget Committee meeting here in just a couple of minutes. Okay, we will get this Budget Committee meeting started. It's January 21st, 2025 at 6:06 p.m. in City Hall. This meeting is streaming online and recorded as well. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. The mayor did send out the capital improvement plan, the final draft. And so that's what we're here to discuss and kind of go over any questions, talk to some of the department heads, and just allow some of the questions to be asked and answered. So, Mayor, do you have anything you want to start with?
Good evening. Thanks again for having this and hearing out our capital improvement plan. The vision behind this was to be able to give all of our department heads a chance to give their needs for the department to be able to help improve the city. So we have this list that is, I will correct it, it's final for this budget committee. The final list will be submitted to the city council in the next meeting. So this is just still discussion mode to get feedback from, hold on, let's see, it's feedback, get feedback from the council and our department heads and the administration, be able to come up with a cohesive plan that we can move forward with to be able to execute.
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, so it's the final draft is what we'll call it. It's still draft, but it's the final draft before anything gets taken to the full council. Of course, that's the purpose of the discussion today is to air out any questions and see if there's anything that there's concern or anything that we want to possibly change. So unless you have a different plan, Mayor, I figured we could just go down the PDF, and that way everyone can just, if you have it printed, just follow page to page. If it's on your computer, just scroll down and we can just kind of go from front to back, if that's all right. And that would start with the engineering and planning. And so who do we have that wants to speak on that?
We have engineer Graft, planning Graft. I still haven't figured out a name in all this time yet, but yeah, it was helping. So he has a few requests on here. I think his total ask is around $52,000, and I'll let him explain, or I'll let him answer any questions about what these things are and why we need those.
So the last meeting that we had, I gave you some kind of an outline of what it was. We did get a couple, I got another quote for the items, very similar to what we already had. So that didn't change much. So it's reflected within the cost that the mayor is showing you. Obviously, the biggest item is in the traffic department, which would be the sign machine and the laminator. The other items are just some computers that we need. And then we do a lot of work for other departments, even walkway of lights. We make banners and all different things in the engineering department, or actually Lisa does in the planning department with the wide format plotter. That is quite old, and recently it's stopped taking some of our PDF files that we get. It doesn't want to print them, so that's kind of our hope that if you see fit. I mean, I could have come up with 500,000 like a lot of other departments, but I thought 52 was pretty nice, so.
Thank you. Any questions
That's a
from the
jab.
council members? We'll just keep going on from that one. Anyone else have questions? Way to go first, Mike.
How many computers total do you have in your department?
There's 3,
Just the 3, so this is replacing all 3 of them?
correct.
Okay.
Currently, the Lisa's is running, she tries to run some pretty big formatted stuff, so it's running slower. I mean, if we don't get any of these, we'll definitely get by, but it's definitely could be used.
And is this, I know that's probably the smallest thing on your list, but just making sure that those are spec'd out to be big enough
Yes.
to handle what you
Yeah.
need, and
That's correct.
I assume Danny helped you with that.
Yeah, and I mean, they are, if you start looking at them on paper, they're not your ordinary desktop. I mean, they're $3,000. It's a fast processor, and so, yeah.
And the plotter scanner, is that similar to, I think I've seen it in other like county departments where they can scan and plot like
Correct. So
blueprint
these are actually
size
2
and-
separate things.
Okay.
So because in the past, we've had one that will do multiple things, but when you start getting into this size and you have a problem with one, then you're kind of stuck. So we chose to just do the wide format plotter and the scanner, so that we can have it in a different location in the office, because we have lots of files that the building department will probably take advantage of. We have lots of rolls and rolls of drawings that if we could scan those and start putting them in a file and get rid of a lot of this burdensome paper, that would be great.
Okay. And that was one of my questions, was if the building department would make use of it as well. and-
I believe they would. Once we get it in, I mean, we're most recently, over the last couple of years, we're requesting digital drawings from our people that submit stuff, but in the past, we didn't. But so we still have a lot of rolled drawings up there that we would love to scan in and just make it easier access.
Do you guys have a policy in place for if somebody requests a printout, a large level printout, what we would charge for that, or?
We typically don't. If we do, we just go by the regular policy. I mean, we don't do that. What we try to do is steer them to either Eastern Engineering or something
Okay.
like that. It's easier for us to give them a scanned copy, a PDF. These would be more for the stuff that we've already got in our file room that we just need to pare down.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Mike? Go ahead.
Mike, do you have anything in your 2025 budget for office equipment and computers?
Yeah, it was like $5,500, I think something like that, which
Have
is.
you utilized that, or?
Yeah.
You already spent it for this year?
No, it's not
gone?
been spent, no, but that's what I've been using, unfortunately, a lot of that I use at the traffic department, so to buy blanks and materials for them.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Anything else for Mike? Okay, thanks, Mike, appreciate it.
And we do appreciate being able to present this, and we look forward to a favorable recommendation from you all. Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you. Okay, moving into the next department, I believe it's building maintenance. So we've got controls for HVAC at 450,000, blinds at 25,000. Those are the only two items I see on there. Is that?
That is correct, yes.
How much would it cost for a heater to heat outside?
Anybody with questions about the actual budget?
Oh, sorry, that's right.
I will say I did see those blinds. You said you're going to be installing those, saving the labor, and you have the time for that, correct? I know you do a lot, so is that something where you just install as you can, or?
Yeah, just as I go, like the mayor's office is done, chief of staff's done. There's already a few offices that has been done. We'll probably work like in the controller's area, the clerk's office, up front where the secretary's at, so we got first. And it's probably going to take, once I get started, if I don't start, it's going to take a couple months. Easy. Taking the old ones down, throwing them away, hauling the new ones in, you know. They all have to be measured, special measured, you know, each one's different. One nice thing about it in the whole building, the length is the same. If you go, every window length is the same.
Excellent, sounds great. Go ahead.
Are these blinds just for light, or they also help other ways with energy
Yeah, they're all,
efficiency?
other than light, they're going to be like, it's going to keep the, if it's real hot out, especially if you're on the south side of the building, if you're in the office, it's going to keep it cool. It's going to keep it cool on that side.
Can you turn your mic on?
Yes,
So they will complement the HVAC?
it will.
And-
It will, yeah. Yeah, it's helped with the roof too, you know, when we did our white roof last year. So I did notice it in the AC. Right now, it's just so cold out right now, trying to keep this building warm. It's been a little bit of struggle the last couple of days.
These are vertical blinds, because we currently have vertical blinds, right?
Correct.
So,
Yep, it'll be the same.
yeah. Any other questions? Okay, great, thanks so much. And yeah, moving into police department. Who would like to speak on the police department?
I guess I'll play the best defense I can for them. They have two asks. Yeah. Well, we're doing jokes, so I figure I'd keep on going. They have two asks. One is for the vehicles. This would be for, I believe, this would cover 6 vehicles, which is, they run about $60,000 each by the time they're fully equipped. And this would be for the remodel of their men's and women's locker room. And I believe, I don't think it's attached on here, but there have been a couple quotes that went out for the men's and women's locker room. Yeah, I don't know why I'm feedback today. Is it my computer or something?
Turns it down, maybe. Try that.
Okay. Is it helping me? Check again, check again. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Okay. But yeah, so that's what this is for their ask. I'll answer the best I can.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so the vehicles and
Men
the
and
locker
women
room.
Yeah.
If anybody's never been to locker room, it's pretty bad, pretty outdated. They need a new locker room bad. And of course, the vehicles, that's kind of a must, so.
All right, any questions for the mayor?
Is there more than that? Is there outbuilding and rehaul of the,
That's for a different department.
okay.
Yeah, the police department, well, that was discussed, but they're only come to us for the vehicles and locker room at this point, yeah.
Right.
I think they must have trimmed a few things out. Go ahead.
So, Mayor, can you tell me just exactly how many vehicles, new vehicles that we've already purchased since 2024? With the ARPA money, I know that we had 4 that came in just when you came into office on police vehicles. We did the ARPA. Did you buy 6 with ARPA?
I don't know the specifics of the answer to those questions, so I don't want to try to give you one. But our chief of police and our his deputy chief would know that more specifically.
Deputy Chief's right back there. And then,
Here we go. Okay.
because I had asked for an inventory
Okay.
a couple times. Not that I'm against buying police cars. I just want to know how many because I thought with ARP, we bought 6, and then we did a redistribution of the employee money that we didn't use, which was 300 and some thousand, which I think was going to get another 6, if I'm not mistaken. So 12, 16 so far. So the 360,000, how many are they wanting? How many vehicles is that going to get?
Now I do know they said that the 360 would get 6 vehicles that are fully equipped.
Sure. So that'll be another 6, right?
Unless I'm doing the math wrong. Hold on, let me think for a second.
So that'd be 16 vehicles that we've bought since you've been in office.
Yeah, it's 60,000 apiece. It's 6 on this number, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's equipped, because I think the vehicles, what I saw on the invoices was 40,000.
Yeah.
And then we had to equip them.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep tabs on this, because I did ask for a complete inventory, which I related to you.
Yes.
And I haven't got that yet, so. And I know that we did do the attack vehicle in lieu of some police cars, but I still think that off of the ARPA money, we got 6. And then 6 off the salary redistribution, and then 4 when you first came in that were already ordered through Haley. So I just want to know how many we've replaced with this administration.
Yeah, that's fair. I hate not knowing the answer to the questions. But,
Sure, and I did ask you at our personal meeting.
Yeah, and
related to you that I had asked for a complete inventory.
Right.
And then on the locker rooms, you said that you've got a couple bids already, because these are just locker rooms and bathrooms.
Yeah, so Dave, it might be still here. Dave? So we, they're asking questions specifically about the bids for the locker rooms now. If you would speak to this, these are the police locker rooms. So what we have on there is both men and women's. Originally, we had a quote for just the men's side, who was the worst in the worst condition, unfortunately. But obviously, it'd be more fair to redo the men and women, so that's why the larger amount is in there now.
Yeah, and that's also, we're going to be doing the carpets. If you look back in the locker area, their carpet is 30 years old. Probably a fresh coat of paint, some lights back there, but the biggest part is getting the showers, the tile, the partitions, the toilets, the urinals. And once we get that floor broken up, we always have a little drainage problem back there. So when we get that tile up, we're going to kind of look at some drains, so just to cover all the bases.
No,
I don't think, that's probably not been touched in 30 years, has it? That's what I'm saying. It don't look like it has been.
No, I was asking.
It needs it.
I was seeing if you had any quotes yet. Do you have any detailed quotes yet?
Yeah, we've got a couple quotes for the bathrooms. Got a couple quotes for the bathrooms. I haven't got everything yet.
The police
but for
department bathrooms?
Yes,
Because you're doing the regular bathrooms on the floors too.
correct. Yeah, that's come separate. That's already
So
taken.
I haven't seen any bids. Do you have any bids that we
got
can
it.
look at, or?
Yeah.
Let me get them to him.
Yeah, we'll get them to you. Yeah, we got a couple.
I
of them.
just wondering where you came up with the 140,000.
It was from that bid. I must not have included it in this email packet. So we already have them. I'll make sure we get those to you. Because he already has copies of those. I think I'm looking at the packet I sent you guys now. I think that bid is not on there. But Dave does have those, and I'll make sure he gets each and every one of you that copy of that bid.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for police department, vehicles, and locker rooms? Yeah, go ahead.
I have one more question. I brought this up. When we did the budgeting, we normally budgeted for police cars. I know you moved it. I know we moved it. And I think we moved it to citywide maintenance on the vehicles, if I'm not mistaken, that the controller explained to me that we put all the motor vehicles into that controlled expense, and then we would take vehicles out of that. So did you include anything for 2025 for police cars?
So the second answer to the question is no, but I double checked on after our conversation. So when we did the budget, we took out all capital expenditures for each department. So in the street department, which you mentioned, they don't have any money for vehicles either in their line item for their budget. So everybody will become, and when I was presenting, I tried to make it sure that we understood that everybody would have to come for this capital improvement and ask. So there should be no, long story short, the street department won't be spending any money out of their budget on police vehicles.
Okay, so where were you going to take that money from for police vehicles? Out of the general fund or the Board of Works?
So no, it wasn't going to be taken from anywhere. It was just going to be presented in this capital improvement plan. So when we took that money out of the budget for both police and the fire they normally had, and the building department, the code enforcement / building department always had money in there for vehicles. We stripped that away, and with the vision and the hope to be able to come and explain to you guys why they needed X amount of vehicles, and you would say yes or no instead of us just leaving that amount in the budget.
But yes, essentially, it's coming out of the general, this is all coming out of the general fund.
This ask is coming from the general fund.
Okay, so once again, what did you have to have thought of something and allowed something for vehicles for the police department? What did you have in mind through the budgetary process for the police department on cars?
So my mind was there's no budget for police department cars.
So you didn't have anything in mind to replace police cars?
Nope.
In 2025?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
I think it's because of what you anticipated him to present it in this process. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to be clear. Any other questions for police department? All right, we'll move on to fire department. I don't know who's here to speak for that, but the SCBA and face masks, $350,000, 2 cargo trailers at $25,000, Argo 8x8, $35,000, a vehicle for $30,000, and Station 6 renovation for $60,000 for a total request of $500. Mayor, are you speaking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the questions on this one too.
I do. So Station 6 renovation, and we talked about it in our meeting just about how some of these stations need some repair. So I'm happy to see that initiative. I know Station 6 probably needs a little work. But I would just plant the seed for future years to maybe look at one department a year or one station a year to try and get them all up to par and renovated if needed. So that's the only thing I have. Anybody else? Fire department.
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you is Station 6 is the one in the worst shape right now. It's kind of like the police department's locker room. It hadn't been touched in 30 years. That's why.
Yeah. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I just, and on their budget for when we were back in the administration before his, we always allowed enough in there for building and grounds. Matter of fact, we had increased it from 9,000 to 90,000 and then 100,000 last year. So we did always allow that, and we did that under Paul David because he wanted to progressively redo the fire stations. We have put new roofs on them and new windows, new furniture, and they always allow that normally in their budget. So I'm just saying that if they have been let go of, it hadn't been because they haven't been allocated the money. He's done that. He did that before Curtis came in, and there was money. And they do have $50,000 in buildings and grounds to work on some of the stations. So.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're continuing that because I don't want these fire stations to get left behind on anything. So appreciate that. Anybody else for fire department? Great. Move into.
Can you
go
remind
ahead.
me what the trailers were for? Do you remember?
We'll follow up with the fire chief on that one so he can give you a clear answer.
Yeah, I think one was their hazmat response or two of their response teams. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And moving into IT department. Cybersecurity, $68,625.22. And storage server, $7,165.22 for a total of $75,625.22. Welcome, Danny.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Anybody have questions?
Can you do a brief overview again of what the cybersecurity?
Well, cybersecurity be the firewall, and then there's security for all our endpoints being your computers, and they will run some phishing tests for our employees too, and stuff like that.
Is this an annual amount, or is this to?
Well, right now, I think it's a yearly thing right now. We're going to see how it goes. I think it's a good thing to do right now. It'll help show some of our weaknesses, and we can tighten those up. I mean, as you all know, you can never have enough security. It's getting really ugly out there, and a lot of AI out there that's fooling people, and so we try to stay on top of it.
Yeah, I fully support this. In today's world, there's a lot of cyber extortion. There's hackers looking to hack into cities and governments to lock you out and then may pay a ransom fee. And I look at this almost as like an insurance policy to prevent. This is a drop in the bucket to what it would cost to have to recoup and recover from a cyber intrusion.
All right, and like I said, it gives us a chance to see where we might have some weaknesses. You know, I kind of do it myself for the last few years, and to have some help for a second will be greatly appreciated.
Okay, any other questions for IT? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Danny, I don't have a major issue with this. I'm just curious.
Right.
So are we going to, you say this is going to be a yearly cost. So we're paying a firm to set this up and protect?
For this year, and then we'll play, me and the mayor get back together and see, you know, what parts, or we go a different route. We've talked in the past of adding people in my department. You know, this is some place to start. I think we need it now because it's time for me to overhaul our security and get rid of a firewall. And I thought it was a good time to bring, and this is a good firm to help us do that and make us stronger right now. Next year, we may be better on our own and we may go a different direction.
Okay, so is this firm going to monitor it? I mean, monthly, weekly, daily?
Yes, daily, on a daily basis.
They will monitor it?
And I'll be involved with that also.
And the storage will be, will it be local or?
The storage?
Yeah.
Oh, as far as,
the
firewall's here.
The storage server.
And the storage server is me. Yeah, I'm replacing 2 storage servers we have with one. That'll save me about $6,000, but the way the servers are now, you can buy enough space and they're strong enough to handle that. So, yeah, we have a storage server here. Basic documents, basically. I mean, it's not like the financials are really kept on there. There's a lot of documents maybe for some PD and the rest of our departments, what they may have. But
So we're going to have to eventually increase your budget for cybersecurity, because I see that you
this
don't.
is a good test right here. I don't have much of a budget.
You don't have much of a budget at all. Even your equipment is only $18,000.
Right. And that's actually, I was going to buy the server myself, and I thought this was a good time to ask for this because I don't want to spend that much money this early, if that makes sense.
Sure. So we're looking at possibly increasing your budget for the cybersecurity another $68,000 a year.
Sure.
Is that a fixed cost with one company, or you've checked other companies, or?
And actually, you know, when they get in here and make us stronger, like I said, I don't know what direction we'll go after that. Maybe I keep doing it myself. We might look at other people, or we keep the firm, a firm. We can always look at that yearly.
Sure.
I think we're at the point now, I need somebody in here to help.
Sure.
We need to get it strong.
Sure.
And that's my feeling.
Okay. So we're liable to have to keep this every year?
Possibly.
Okay, so we should look at that next budget season. And, okay, thank you.
This is a good starting point, though, to see what we need to do. So.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else for IT? Great. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And moving into community relations, vehicle 10,000, sound system 5,000, outdoor stage 3,500 for a total of 18,500. And Mayor?
I'll take these two. Yeah, so, well, I guess questions first. Or if you have any questions.
No, I just noticed the amount for sound system went up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think that's probably more feasible for what we need here, so.
So you got a new quote from the mayor? You got his final, or?
For what in
You said
particular?
the quote went up for the sound system?
The ask for sound system went up.
Oh, okay.
I just have personal knowledge of how much they cost, so I just know. I think she was originally asking for like 1,500.
Sure.
And that's not enough for a sound system we need for some of the events we
So
do.
you went up to 5?
They went,
Yeah.
they bumped it up to 5, yeah.
So, I mean, the purpose of all of these, I mean, we do a lot of outdoor events, and Layla has been having to use her own sound system, which is a smaller one. We want the city to have our own, so we can use our own and make it small enough and robust enough to fill the spaces that we'll use it for. Some of them that come to mind is our Miracle, our Christmas parade, our groundbreakings, our ribbon cuttings. We want to have something that fills up the space so everyone can hear. And the stage is obvious. So when we want to set up for concerts and we set up for whatever we're doing, we want to have our own stage instead of having to pay rent to other people. And the vehicle that she's asking for will be used to haul this stuff around to different events, etc.
So I know you explored earlier with the vehicle about maybe the police department giving her one of the police vehicles that they were gonna discharge, or?
That could be a possibility, but I think the ones that are discharging are like sedans, and this kind of stuff would need like an SUV to get around.
Sure.
Yeah.
They don't have any SUVs that they're gonna get rid of?
Now, my understanding is the cars that are going to be rolling off will be those 08, 09 Impalas.
Yeah, I just know that was brought up, and it was a possibility that.
Yeah, so I will have them look into that more, but I'm pretty sure that the vehicles that are rolling off out of inventory are those 08, 09 Impalas, which would be hard to haul that stuff around.
Sure, because I think Danny's driving an old fire department vehicle, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that Jeep or something like that. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions for community relations?
I do.
Go ahead.
I'd be concerned about getting a vehicle for $10,000. That doesn't sound feasible. What are you going to find for 10 grand?
I think in her mind, she just wanted to grab something affordable as possible. That's an SUV. So she did give me some quotes after this was I already submitted it to you guys, and she found one. I think it was for $11,500 here locally to fit exactly what they needed.
All right. Any other questions under community relations? Okay, moving on to citywide maintenance. Salt barn, $86,000, and a backhoe for $80,000, total of $166,000. Who would you like to speak?
This is me too. Randy's here? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, Randy,
He's here.
Yeah, all right.
Welcome, thanks for coming. All right,
Good evening.
yeah. Any questions for citywide maintenance? Okay, you had a pretty easy one, Randy. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me get down there. And parks, maintenance building for $95,000, and the garden house concrete pad roof for $55,000, a total of $150,000. So any questions on parks? I think you did a good job. Well, you and, who was here last time for parks? Was it you?
Yes, sir.
Was you? Okay. You guys did a good job of explaining it anyways, so. Pretty
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Just real quick, are we, with this maintenance building, are we replacing and tearing down an old building that's not working, or is this an addition to?
It'll be tearing one down, ma'am.
Tearing
Yes,
one
ma'am.
down, okay. I thought so, but I wanted to make sure I was right on which building was which.
Yes,
so.
ma'am.
Great. Thank you so much, Randy.
Thank you.
And moving into Transportation Department.
I think I can fill this one. I don't think you can. I can
Go
fill
ahead.
this one. This is for the restroom. So this building was built, I can't remember the year, but they didn't put a restroom in the building. So this is a restroom, his and her restroom being added into the facility.
So 45,000 total just for transportation for that.
Yeah.
Is that going to be contracted out or internal?
Yes, they'll be contracted, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dixon Services was the one for that. Okay. Any questions?
Remind me, did this quote include the 2 bathrooms, or is this still only the 1?
It's his and hers. It's two
His and
bathrooms.
hers, okay.
I still think we only need 1, but I don't know what the price break would be. You know, some of it, if they're already there, may not be much more to add a second, but just the number of people that work in that building, I think it only needs 1, but for that, for 45,000, getting 2 bathrooms out of it doesn't seem too bad. Any questions? Go ahead.
I don't have a question. I would just like to say that I am 100% in favor of a male and female bathroom. I understand that some places have unisex, but, you know, there's certain needs of a woman that needs to be just discreet and have their own bathroom, and I don't think there's a problem with that, with the cost of it. I mean, $45,000, you know, I used to build bathrooms and houses and stuff, and that for 2 bathrooms, I just think that that's a must, that we have a male and female bathroom. That's just my opinion.
Great, thanks. Yeah, that's what I just stated for the price. That seemed like it was a good deal. All right, moving on to the next category, building and code enforcement. Vehicles, 90,000, chipper truck, 50,000, lawn equipment, 10,000, total requests, 150.
Good evening.
Welcome. Can you turn the mic on?
It is. I'm just soft-spoken.
Okay, anybody have questions? Go ahead.
Jerry, on the ARPA money that we gave you on that demolition and houses and stuff, you said you had 200,000 that you were going to use for just miscellaneous, and then 100,000 was going for helping elderly people and VA veterans and stuff on their houses. And on that 200,000 out of that million that we gave you for demolition, is there any money of that could come and be used for some of this stuff?
Yes, there's money still available in there. As far as the home assistance program, we're down to right at $16,000.
Yeah, I knew the home assistant was, you know, dedicated to that.
On the equipment part of it, I did request a skid steer with a couple of attachments. One was a dozer blade, and one was also a Forester cutter that we can use to clear areas better. That wasn't approved, however, we would like to use some of that money towards that purchase.
So the 200,000 on the miscellaneous from the ARPA money, you say you've got...
Some of it's already gone.
Okay, and what equipment did you use that for?
Pardon me?
What equipment did you use that for?
We used it for maintenance on, well, we bought a couple trailers that we needed to haul the mowers for the inmate crew.
I saw that.
And we also used it, we've been using it for some maintenance on the equipment, like our excavator and different things like that. When we had to purchase things, we've been using it for that, because tearing down the structures, we're allowed to use that money towards that.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of money is left in that 200,000 from that ARPA money? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
I want to say right around 160,000 maybe.
Okay.
I'm not real sure, Gary. I hate to tell you that, and then it's less or a little
No,
more.
I understand that. I was just curious of what we were, because I knew that when you came up and explained for the ARPA money, you were going to use some of that 200,000 for
Right,
equipment.
exactly.
And you even mentioned one of the brush chippers for along the banks and stuff. I thought we had purchased one of those because I saw the Bobcat out there using a chipper to do
Well-
the banks out there down by the pier, the fishing pier.
That chipper or that attachment, I bought probably 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, they use it. But it's not as efficient as what we need.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much, appreciate
you.
it. And we will move into City Hall furniture, 160,000.
I can
You,
take
Mayor?
this one. Yep, I can take
figured.
this one.
Go ahead.
So what this is we replaced some furniture last year, mainly in the mayor's suite, and I believe some up in the engineer's office. So this would be a complete replacement of all the furniture in City Hall that is still old. So what this is the ask from the police department, from the first floor all the way up to the third floor, to replace all new furniture. If you go through there, it kind of itemized out what each section would get, and this is obviously something that if I were to present it as a full ask, we have to go to bid out for the Board of Works as well.
All right, thanks, Mayor. After we talked, the only thing I would say that stood out to me was like conference room chairs. I don't know if the math was right, but it seemed like the average price of the conference room chairs was like $500. So I don't know if that could be looked at a little closer. Just the overall expense divided by 20 for at least the second floor conference room. If you could just get some detail on that.
Okay.
Both, I think there was like 2 conference rooms, and I did the math, and it was like $500 a chair. That just doesn't seem right.
Okay.
So if you could check on that. Sorry, I just noticed that today, actually. It was like doing the division. I was like,
Yeah. All right.
all right, any other questions? Go ahead.
I've spoke with the mayor on this before, that I don't think that we need to spend $160,000 on furniture. I mean, we've already spent $45,000 on furnishings at the beginning of the administration. I think this is a big ask, and I spoke to the mayor about it. If we go down the line and we need some furniture here or there, but just to go and blanketly replace another $160,000 of furniture, I would be opposed to it myself. That's just my personal opinion as far as being fiscally responsible on some of this. At one time, I know there are some departments that say that they're sitting on milk crates, but I think that there has been furniture been replaced along the years to where I don't think it's quite that bad in my opinion. I do think that there are some situations in some departments that it might need to be replaced, but I just don't feel that we need to do that type of expenditure and replace everybody's furniture in the whole city hall, which I think we should be able to with $160,000, the $45,000 we've already spent at the first beginning of the new mayor's term. We replaced quite a bit. So that's just my personal opinion on this expenditure.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, moving to the last category, Controller's Office. Faucet, sink, hot water, 2,000, 6 laptops, 6,700, and a vibe board, 6,100, with a total of 14,800.
The bottom 2 are kind of self-explanatory. The laptops, they're still using, I think, like Windows 8 or 9 on their laptops, so it's time. The vibe board, so they'll be able to use it's what we have in all the conference rooms, and they'll be able to use that in their office to be able to communicate when they host events with, and when we have the who's the people that come in? They come in and do the audit. They can use it. Yes.
The DLGF?
Yes, and they'll have a space where they can use
auditors,
it. Yep. And then the first one, Dave can speak on to the faucet, sink, and hot water situation up there.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, for the, in the controllers, they got a little break office in there, and their sink, it just needs to be replaced. I mean, it's literally just falling apart. They don't have no hot water up there, so we're just going to hook the little electrical hot water heater underneath there, so they have it in that room. Because they do have visitors. They got HR, if Chris is gonna talk with someone, it's just kind of their own area up there that just needs a little TLC.
All right, thanks. Any questions from the council?
Other than just a comment. So I would have no problem with replacing that. I think taking care of your employees is important, giving them a nice place to work, nice furniture to sit at. It's not this administration's fault that this city hall has been neglected for 40 years and not updated. So I would be in favor. Anything that this administration wants on this ask, I would be in favor of it. Thank you.
And can I make a comment on the previous thing about the furniture?
Oh, go ahead.
There's a lot of desks up there that they can't even use the drawers because they won't open. They've been damaged, shoved. You know, there's some desk, they're sitting, the next time they move, it's gonna be moving to the trash can. Because you did, like Linda's desk, it's been moved 2 or 3 times. We can't move that anymore. The next time, I mean, it's literally just hanging apart. So I get where he's saying not everyone, but there's a lot that people just don't, they can't use their desk. It's just so old and damaged. You know, the sides peeling off, it just look, and it doesn't have a good look either. I mean, you know.
I kind of agree
Great, thanks.
with Mr. Kane as well. I mean, this is where we do city business. This is where people come to decide if they're going to come to this city and what they're going to do, so on. It's time to get this building up to date.
Yeah, and I feel bad. I mean, you know, it's been so many years. You know, nobody's come to do this, and I know it's all coming to a point, but if we're going to do it, you know, this is the time. It really is. It's not fair to our employees. It really isn't. You know.
I appreciate that. Any other comments, questions? Okay. I don't have any other categories. It is 6:52. Mayor, do you have anything you want to add, or council members, anything else you want to ask?
No, I'll just say thank you all for hearing this out, and I'll over the next week or so, I'll go through and trim and have a actual final ask and prepare for the next council meeting, and look forward to moving forward from there.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and end the Budget Committee meeting at 6:52, and we'll come back, try and get this regular council meeting started at 7, but I'll give everyone a quick restroom break as well.